Turn your bets into cash. Get access to the proven Z-Code sports betting system.
Would you believe an NBA player who is 6'7" cannot dunk? That's right. Patrick Williams, who's 6'7", is 2 for 7 on dunks so far this season. Now I understand it's just the first month of the season, so I decided to look back and check if this was real. Here's what I found. Here's a chart showing the dunk success rates of all starting small forwards over the past 2 seasons, with dunk attempts on the x-axis and dunk percentage on the y-axis. This point represents Patrick Williams boasting a dunk percentage of 74%. Not only is he missing dunks, but he's also attempting a lot of them. So what's really going on here? I think it boils down to a couple of key factors. First, Williams can't jump as high as he seems to think he can. In some cases, he's positioned in the dunker spot, starting from a standing position before attempting to elevate and dunk. You'll notice him hanging on the rim during these attempts because he's not getting high enough. Notice how, when Williams goes up, the ball barely clears the rim. When he starts his jump from farther out, he ends up overextending as he tries to reach the rim. Additionally, Williams struggles when facing contesting defenders. Even if he's already in the air, a defender just beginning their leap can disrupt him enough to make him lose the ball. On this reverse dunk attempt, his body is moving away from the rim, and he barely manages to get the ball over for the finish. Williams has a good sense of positioning himself to create these opportunities, but when a taller defender contests him, it becomes a clear problem. The issue is that he believes he can outjump these defenders, so while some of these attempts technically count as dunks, they likely shouldn't have been attempted at all. At times, I think Williams is chasing highlight plays. While he has the tools to execute them, his confidence in those tools can make him naive about what's actually coming, especially when he's beating his defender off the dribble. Here, Williams makes a great cut from the double team, but he begins his windup too far from the restricted area and barely generates any lift on his dunk attempt. As Williams drives, he fails to see Siakam approaching from the side, attempts to challenge him, and gets denied. On this play, Williams drives off the catch, but Markkanen is in position early. Despite this, Williams still tries to go over him, and you can guess the result. Williams has no trouble reaching the rim, but he's hasty. The only way these possessions become dunks is by either beating his defender or leaping over them. Most of the time, he doesn't attempt to evade his defenders, allowing them to time their jumps. The only way to counter this is with an extremely explosive leap. I get that he's technically aiming for a more efficient shot, but it's not a good one since he lacks the vertical to soar over defenders. What really confuses me, though, are the misses when he has a running start and open space, but still can't finish the dunk. At first glance, it seems like the only explanation is that he just can't finish dunks. However, there's more to it. Despite having big hands, Williams struggles to adjust himself and the ball when facing resistance. He's driving to his left, but with Capella in the way, he has to switch back to his right, pushing the ball forward instead of downward. Here's another example where he starts with great explosiveness but doesn't get high enough, forcing him to push the ball forward again, causing it to hit the back of the rim. He makes a great block on Brandon Ingram and has a clear lane ahead, but Herb Jones, trailing behind, applies just enough pressure to make him lose the ball. Williams is far from a weak athlete. He has excellent initial explosiveness and has shown he can throw it down at times. That's why his inconsistency is so baffling to me. From these clips, you'll notice Williams is actually a solid cutter, which explains his high number of dunk attempts. He consistently puts himself in a great position to slip behind the defense, but on many of these makes, with the center often drawn out by Nikola Vucevic's shooting threat, Williams understands that most defenders are more focused on Zach LaVine and Vucevic. This creates plenty of chances to slip behind the defense. The Bulls have effectively used Williams as a screener with Vucevic at the three-point line, and he's been quite effective at slipping screens and attacking the rim in these situations. I think this is a great setup because it provides Chicago with another pick-and-roll option while keeping the paint largely wide open. He's relatively agile for his size and can handle the ball at times, but while Williams struggles with finishing dunks, I actually believe there's a fairly simple fix. It's wild needing to sketch a spot for someone to dunk right, but Billy Donovan absolutely could by urging Vooch to pass more and setting up design cuts for Williams. However, Patrick Williams mostly needs to accept that he's less explosive now than he was among his college peers. He entered the league hyped as an explosive athlete and has shown flashes of that, but he's nowhere near as explosive as players like Westbrook or D. Rose. He needs to pick his spots wisely and focus on beating defenders on the ground rather than in the air. The takeaway here is, if you're facing the Bulls and Patrick Williams drives, don't give up. Sometimes just a bit of defense is enough to force a mistake. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.